How often does one hear that video games are bad for kids? I know that when I was younger, my grandparents were always telling me that video games would rot my brain. It would scare me a little. I obviously didn't want my brain to rot, but I continued anyway because it was something that I loved, and I'm glad I did. I learned a lot from playing video games, many things that parents never thought their kids could learn while entertaining themselves on a device. With the rise of video games in the past few decades, many question the impact of video games on people, especially children. At first, many parents didn't know the influence video games would have over their kids, so they either allowed them to play video games or purged them from their child's life. Some parents believed that video games would rot their child's brain, or even inhibit their mental growth. This caused a scare for many parents, turning them to the solution of heavily regulating a child's social media intake. Contrary to popular belief, video games are not all bad for you. With all the research that has been done on video games, there is a substantial amount of evidence of video games benefiting one's life. I would like to preface this by saying that this is applicable if video games are played in moderation. Spending all day on them will not provide the same benefits. There are many ways that they can help. First is that it helps you develop physical skills. Next is the effect it has on our minds and how it enhances our brain functions. Third is how it helps you socially and psychologically. Starting off with the first benefit of video games, I would like to begin by explaining the physical skills and advantages that can be attained. With all the different types of video games, there could be many physical advantages depending on what is being played. Dance Dance Revolution or Wii Fit keep you active and moving, whereas it's been shown with virtual reality, it can help improve reaction time and performance in and out of gaming. Something as important as driving a car can be slowly taught through video games. According to researcher Li of New York University Shanghai, lead author on a study conducted to determine if action video games improve visual monitor control. She determined that the findings support a causal link between action gaming for as little as 5 hours and enhancement in visual monitor control, and suggests that action video games can be beneficial tools for learning to drive. The next type of benefits that video games can bring to you is enhanced brain functions and positively affect our minds. Video games have been known to not only exercise and enhance our bodies, but our brains as well. A study done by Simone Cohen, a senior scientist at the Center for Lifespan Psychology at the Max Planck Institute for Human Development, says that the present study can demonstrate the direct causal link between video gaming and volumetric brain increase. This proves that scientific brain regions can be trained by means of video games. Video games could be therapeutically useful for patients with mental disorders in which the brain are altered or reduced in size. Examples of this could be schizophrenia, post-traumatic stress disorder, or even Alzheimer's dementia. Video games can also improve vision by making players more sensitive to slightly different shades of color, known as contrast sensitivity. People who played action-based video games were 58% better at perceiving fine differences in contrast. Daphne Bavailer, professor of brain and cognitive sciences at the University of Rochester, describes how, normally, improving contrast sensitivity means getting glasses or eye surgery, somehow changing the optics of the eye. But they found that action video games train the brain to process the existing visual information more efficiently, and the improvements last for months after gameplay has stopped. One last example of how video games can help you is social and psychological benefits. Many people may not see how video games can help you socially, since they are mostly confined to a device, but video games have a huge impact on how young people communicate with one another. Most people may play video games with their friends, or even make friends by playing with random gamers all over the world. This cooperative gameplay can help provide connection, a critical aspect of mental health, and feeling like you're part of a community of like-minded people who value your participation and share your goal within the game. This is a quote from Glenn Platt, a PhD professor of emerging technology and director of interactive media studies program at Miami University in Ohio. Though whether someone plays games with others or not, many types of video games have been shown to give joy and happiness to people, or even promote well-being. After testing if video game play is positively correlated with well-being, Professor Andrew Persuasive, director of research at the Oxford Internet Institute, University of Oxford, and lead author of the study, came to the conclusion that play can be an activity that relates positively with people's mental health, and regulating games could withhold those benefits from players. Now, this is a visual demonstration of the last example. It's a graph that demonstrates the positive association observed between hours of gameplay engagement and a player's report of well-being. As you can see, the graphs stay consistently high as gamers play, showing the positive effect it has on one's well-being. Now that I've gone over all the reasons why video games can benefit your life, let's do a recap. Video games have been given a bad reputation for a long time, and with all the studies being put out, evidence for its lack of harm is apparent. Although there are many great reasons for playing video games, some vital ones that could improve your life include physical benefits, social, and mental benefits. As previously mentioned, so long as as the time spent playing these video games is managed, they can provide great benefits. We must make sure that people know of these benefits and how to properly achieve them. It's important that we inform other people that video games don't have to be harmful and that they can truly change one life for the better. Now, some questions that could come from this persuasive speech, some questions could be, do these benefits apply to all types of video games? And I would say no, because if you were planning on working out physically or moving and you're not physically moving, then you're obviously not helping in that specific area. Or if you want to fine-tune problem solving, but the game you're playing doesn't have any problem solving, then you're not going to focus on that one area and improve it as well. Another question could be, do video games not cause problems at all? And I would say no, of course there's still going to be problems when playing video games, like for example, addiction. But so long as you manage your time and what you're playing, you should be okay.